Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director, David Riggleman. Coming up on this show, what the future of the healthcare industry looks like inside the Las Vegas Medical District, and find out about fun events and activities offered through the Las Vegas-Clark County Library District to help keep your kids occupied this summer. It's some good stuff. Of course, the councilman who represents Ward 1, you know who it is, Mr. Brian Knudsen. He joins me now. How are you?
I'm busy, David. I'm grateful to sit down for a few minutes and just chat, because it's been such a busy couple of months, but I'm grateful to be here.
It is. You know, you didn't slow down at all during the pandemic. Now that it's winding down, you're even busier, it seems like. So.
I thought there would be a respite, a little bit of a rest, and there's not. It's very, very busy right now, which is great for Las Vegas and great to be a councilman right now.
Yeah, and great for our show, because we have a lot to talk about then. So, you know Ward 1 very well. It's your stomping ground. For those of you out there not exactly sure where Ward 1 is located, well, have no fear. We're going to show you. It's where Las Vegas really started, right at the Springs Preserve in the Springs area. That's in Ward 1. Of course, if you live in this area or work in this area, you are in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas. And of course, if you're a resident there, you are represented by Councilman Brian Knudsen. All of a sudden, you're an old veteran of the city council.
I'm old. I definitely feel old, so that's true.
Didn't mean it that way, but yeah, you've been a councilman now. This is kind of like
almost 2 years.
Yeah, hard to believe.
Yeah, I get asked all the time, what's it like, and is it everything you thought it would be? And the answer is yes. It's everything I thought it would be, and I love it. It's a great job to have. I really like talking to people. I really like interacting with people, and there's so much good that can come from the city of Las Vegas, and to be a part of the city of Las Vegas and all the people that support the city, I'm really honored and grateful.
Well, you're very passionate at everything you do, and one of the things that I'm really impressed with is your connection, your passion to improve healthcare here in Las Vegas. You're on the medical district board. For those of the council members, wear many different hats, and so one of the things he also serves on is the Southern Nevada Health District. And one of your passions along that line has to do with the Las Vegas Medical District, which is right in the heart of Ward 1. So we'll start here. You said you posted this today. I had a great time joining Leadership Las Vegas to facilitate a panel on the future of healthcare in the academic medical district happening right here in Las Vegas, Ward 1. And this is exciting because the medical school, if you've been through there, is coming out of the ground right now.
That's right. It's going to open up sooner than we anticipated. If you drive by Shadow Lane, which is under construction, so you have to drive a little bit slower. There's cones everywhere, which is a good sign. But there's construction. It's probably 3 or 4 stories high of pillars going in right now. And it's really exciting to think about what that building will mean for the area, for the people who live around that area. More importantly, it's exciting for me to think about what healthcare will be, because that School of Medicine really is a game changer for how Nevada will adopt a new healthcare mindset in the coming years.
That's really important, Councilman. I think your whole point is we want to make sure that Las Vegas stays at the cutting edge of medical advances as we head into the future. The medical district, the academic medical school,
that's right,
will help us up our game, basically.
Yeah, and it really is an academic medical campus. And so you have not just the School of Medicine, but you have dental medicine, nursing, public health, occupational health. Yeah. And so you really want, when you go into a doctor's office or hospital, you want to know that it's a team of people that's taking care of you. And that's what an academic medical district will do. And so that's what I spend a lot of my time doing is thinking through with UNLV and other partners how we bring in this academic research component into an existing medical district and expand upon that thought process to be an academic medical campus.
For those of you trying to get your bearings a little bit, the medical district is basically just west of the downtown, near UMC, Valley Hospital, where the old health district office used to be. That's where the medical school is being built. So that's basically the area that encompasses the medical district. It includes the Ruvo Center as well. So
that's right. And if you haven't been down there in a while, it is going to look different now. In a couple of years from now, it's going to look vastly different, with newly improved Rancho, newly improved Charleston, new buildings in the medical district. And for those that haven't broken ground yet, there's many more that are coming up.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And so the area is just going to look very different, very new and improved, and will be the spot for healthcare in the future.
It's exciting stuff. Well, speaking of UNLV, Councilman, you threw a breakfast in recognition for this faculty and staff at UNLV's medical school. We honored them at a city council meeting. We haven't been able to do many ceremonial items due to the pandemic, but when we started that again, one of the first items that we had was to recognize the staff out at the medical school. There you are doing it, still during the pandemic. That's why you guys are sitting up at the dais and everyone else is out in the audience kind of spread apart. But hey, it still took place.
It was so exciting for me. And that's President Keith Whitfield and Dr. Mark Kahn, the Dean of the School of Medicine, and President Whitfield's the President of UNLV. And in the audience there are the faculty members from the School of Medicine. And so I wanted to take the time to honor and recognize their work because they got a School of Medicine really ground up to be accredited, have their first class of 60 students that graduated and are moving on to their residencies. Some in Nevada, some outside of Nevada, but it's really the best in class. And so it's really important for me to recognize people who helped build the medical school, and we'll continue to do that year after year after year.
You had a great connection to the medical school. You even helped select students for their inaugural couple of classes, right?
That's right, and it was an amazing experience to kind of think through what would be the best students, and my little job on the committee was to talk about their connection to Nevada, to make sure that if those students graduate here, that they're going to come back and raise their family here and go to work here and live and love Las Vegas the same way that we do.
That's great. The best and brightest, we need them to stay.
That's right.
Exactly it. And then, Councilman, too, along the same line, speaking of medically related topics, Sunrise Hospital Medical Center, you attended a press conference about keeping our kids safe, right?
So everybody knows I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and it's an incredibly busy life having children that age. And so this press conference was reminding people that you cannot leave children in a locked car, cannot leave children in a car. And so there's tips. It's to leave important items next to your kids, like your phone, because you're not going to walk out of your car with your phone. You certainly don't want to walk out of your car without your child as well. To text yourself reminders that you need to take your children out of the cars. If you're going to drop them off at daycare, let the daycare know that if they're not there within 10 minutes to text you and remind you, just in case you forget your child in your car. And there's no judgment, because as a parent, forgetting your child is a potential. And so you want to make sure you can't leave them in a car. You don't leave them in a car. And for parents listening, new-time parents especially, do everything you possibly can to make sure you remember to take your children outside of car, especially during summer months.
Yeah, it's
really dangerous.
The heat's been brutal too.
And this week in particular has been a horrible week, and you just cannot leave children really outside right now. We just can't leave them in cars. And so that press conference, grateful to Sunrise Hospital to let me talk about the importance of protecting our children. Yeah, good for them too. It's a very timely message. You think, oh well, how could this happen? It happens. It happens to everyone. It does. It does. So, and then Councilman, you posted this on Facebook, changing gears a little bit. You said, today I had an awesome time bringing together IKEA in Vegas and Clark County School District, Garside Junior High, for a backpack donation event for summer school students. Yeah, summer school is in session, and you helped out. We usually do this before the fall session, but it's weird times with the pandemic, so we're doing it a little early this year. And David, how that happened was we were at a park cleanup, and Christine from IKEA was there with her team helping us clean up a park in Ward 1 with Get Outdoors Nevada. And she came up to me afterwards and she said, we'd love to get involved more, and how can we help you? And at the same day, the principal from Garside said, we really need some help. And I said, well, this is great. So what I like to remind people is if our teachers and our principals and our educators in town need help, we have a responsibility to help them. And so it was a great partnership. IKEA came out in full force. They had really nice, fancy backpacks. And the students got to come out in line and pick out their favorite backpack, get a cool pair of sunglasses. A really great event. So thanks to IKEA for partnering with us. Good for them. Thank you, IKEA. That's super. It's been, for students, it's just been really topsy-turvy. Learning from home, coming back, having to go to summer school. It's just been a little bit of everything for them. So. And the entire community needs to stand up and make sure they know how appreciated those students are, and the faculty who are working their summer months to make sure students are caught up. Yep. Got to happen. It's just been an adventurous last 14, 15 months. Well, speaking of Garside Junior High, you said this today. I had the opportunity to thank teachers, faculty, and staff at Garside Junior High School for an end-of-year breakfast. Nice. One of the funniest things of being a council member is I always tell people, like, reach out if you need something. I don't know what I can and can't do, but I'm not afraid to ask. So Garside, they've really taken me to the mat. And they've reached out and said, here's all the things we need. And I have some great people in my office, and we got them everything they asked for. So this is one of those things they asked for, is we need to show some appreciation to our teachers for a rough year. Yeah, and really come and support us at our faculty breakfast. And so Christy Garnis and the team here at the city, and Dorian Stonebarger from my office, and Carl Catarato and Maria Jose came, and we all provided them breakfast. And hopefully provided a few moments of laughter and inspiration, and then let them get back to work.
Means a lot, especially through the year we've had, just to tell somebody, you know what, you did a great job getting these students through. It's worth everything. So,
That's right.
All right. Well, Councilman, we're going to tell everybody out there, hey, we need to take a short break, but when we return, meet the new Parks and Recreation Commissioner for Ward 1 and find out how residents are helping protect and preserve parks and trails in Ward 1. That's next, so please stay with us.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Welcome back, everyone. Almendra Johnson was just appointed in March to serve as the Ward 1 Parks and Recreation Commissioner. And she's with us today to discuss her role and plans for the future. Almendra, welcome back to the show. You are no stranger to us here. You've been on this program before. It's great to have you back.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Now, when you were here before, Councilman, she was, of course, she's with Get Outdoors Nevada, and you spoke in that capacity. But now, Councilman is making you wear more hats. It sounds like he's going to take advantage of your expertise to have you do some things for Ward 1 specifically. Tell us about that.
And I'm really, really grateful that she's here and helping to serve Ward 1. We've done probably, 8 or 9 events now, cleaning up parks. And before that, when I worked at the City of Las Vegas, I did a lot with Get Outdoors Nevada. And Almendra may not know this, but when I was not an elected official, I was working with a lot of the nonprofits, and I rented space from Get Outdoors Nevada, and I sat in an office with all the Get Outdoors Nevada staff.
So you became a believer then.
So I'm very much a believer, and I love the events, and I love the trash picker-uppers, and I love bringing my kids to go clean up micro trash and learning about how we can make our environment a little bit better. So serving on the Parks and Rec Board, I just think there's a lot of opportunity, and I was just whispering to Almendra right before here that in Ward 1, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a new park. We have a couple of steps to get through over the next couple of months, but that'll be our next show. We can talk about the new park that's coming to Ward 1, so very excited about it.
Well, Almendra, again, great to have you on here, and thank you again. Your work with Get Outdoors Nevada, all the things that you've done for the City of Las Vegas has been huge, and now you're serving on one of our boards. Tell everybody out there, what does the Parks Commission do exactly? If people aren't sure, it's like I didn't know that they exist. What's the role?
Yeah, well, we come together every month and we receive presentations and get to know what's going on from the Parks and Rec Department, City Council events, and we really get to kind of be informed on different projects and different things that are happening in the city. And then we talk about them, and if there's something that needs some sort of action item on it, our board of commissioners kind of all come together every month.
And you would serve as an advisory panel, right, to the Parks and Recreation Department, even to the City Council, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little new, so yes, I'm going to say yes. That is what happens.
So David, there'll be a couple of things that come up as we map out how we invest money in the City of Las Vegas and invest in redesigning our parks or replacing park equipment. So that's where I'm excited to leverage the expertise of Almendra to say what's best to invest this money. So I'll be bringing her in on those decisions.
Awesome.
And then one of the most important parts about a Parks and Rec commissioner is naming parks.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why I can tease a new potential park, because the naming gets really controversial and really political. Who's it going to be named after? What's the name going to be? And so taking advice from Almendra will be really important to me.
For sure, for sure. Well, Almendra, where do you think we need to start? I mean, you're on the commission. Where would be some things that you'd like to see the City of Las Vegas head in all of this?
Honestly, I think the biggest part is just informing the residents about the parks. I think that's something that in this last year, there's a lot more energy about getting outdoors and enjoying the spaces that are available to all of us. And so first and foremost, I think that's just the information process. And I know Parks and Rec has done a great job of with their master plan, including the community and input and their surveys. And I think that's a really great first step to continue so that the community is interested in participating on all the other aspects of the process.
I think that's really important. Councilman, that's one of the things that you're always very attuned to is what does the public want? What are they looking for in the park? What experience are they trying to to find by visiting.
And I would jump in and say the trail system too, because parks are out there and you can see them and you drive past them. Our trail system, not everybody knows about that. Even though we've been trying to kind of teach people, we have so many new people moving into Nevada. And so even at our park and trail cleanup that we did last week at Mirabelli, a lot of the people that came weren't aware of the Bonanza Trail. And so I like to tell the story. During the quarantine, my husband and I, we started up at Rampart and Alta and took the trail that leads around, I don't know, 6 or 7 parks through the Bonanza Trail and downtown into the Arts District.
Wow.
It's about a 10-mile walk, and you get to see all different kinds of Las Vegas, from some of the wealthiest parts of Las Vegas to some of the more poorer parts of Las Vegas. And the trail is pretty well maintained, and you can ride your bike there, you can walk there, take your dog there. And so it's just a really interesting trail system where you get to see really the heart of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And Get Outdoors Nevada has helped kind of spur on how we develop that trail system, how we clean up that trail system, and educate our residents and our incoming residents about the trail system that exists. And it's not just Las Vegas, it's the entire valley.
Yeah, it connects all through. Almendra, I think too, you've done a great job of notifying people, letting them know about where the trails are. Because like to Councilman's point, it's like people are watching this, it's like, well, I didn't know we had a trail system here. You guys do a great job of helping people find those too.
Yeah, absolutely. During the pandemic, we really relied on social media to communicate with everyone, since we weren't seeing them on a weekly basis, promoting a trail spotlight every week, access to Neon to Nature, that free app that they can download. And that was really a way for us to get people out there, but to learn about the new trails. And now that we're back in person, it's been super fun to in person connect them. We had a cleanup at Pioneer Park, and that was many of the volunteers' first time noticing that, hey, there's a trail here, and the Lone Mountain Trail is quite extensive and quite nice in Ward 1. And that was the whole point of it, right? Is to mention it, have them come out, and to connect them with it.
Yeah. What would be your advice to help people learn more about the experience? What would be the first step in your mind?
Honestly, the Neon to Nature app, because I think a lot of us, especially right now, we're very comfortable researching things from home first. So becoming familiar with where they want to go, what are the amenities offered, and the City of Las Vegas Parks and Trails have wonderful amenities that they offer, being adjacent to a community center with the bathroom or the parks bathroom. Like that really is a main part of whether or not someone will go there.
Exactly.
And so I think first the research at home would be the first step, and then also just kind of reaching out to Get Outdoors Nevada, to Councilman and his team. That is a really easy way to find out more about the spaces, and I think people don't understand how easy it is to just shoot us an email. We'll help you out.
Yeah. You guys do a great job. Yeah, you really do. We try to do our Park Councilman on the website too. We try to have that information on the city's website, lasvegasnevada.gov. Try to give people a good description of what all the parks and trails are like as best we can.
And my husband and I, when we were walking, my husband liked the trail so much that he went out and got a bike during the pandemic, and so he started biking the trail. And so
cool.
he looked at the website, he looked on the city's website, on Get Outdoors Nevada website, but he also tried and practiced it a few times, because there's different ways to get to different parts of the trail. And so now he rides his, on the weekends, he rides his bike all the way up from downtown up into...
Wow, because he's going uphill then.
Up on Cheyenne. He rides up near Lone Mountain up there, and then he rides, it's like 30 minutes all the way back down. So an hour and a half bike ride up to around Lone Mountain, and then 30 minutes back down.
Man, that's a good workout.
There was one day our kids and I were tracking him on the iPhone because we wanted to beat him home, and we started at the same spot, and he beat us home on a bike.
Wow.
So that's how great the trail system is. It's faster than the cars going downhill. Now going uphill, that's a different story.
Yeah, because you had to stop at the lights and all of that, and he didn't. He just stayed on the trail.
Zooming right down. Yeah, he was doing great.
Good stuff. Almendra, what comes next for Get Outdoors Nevada? You're looking for volunteers all the time, right?
Yes.
Because Councilman, Get Outdoors Nevada has really been instrumental in Ward 1. You guys have a cleanup going on, it seems like every other weekend, or maybe every weekend.
It's about every other week. I always say it's a great way for people to come out and connect to nature, connect to each other. Especially during the pandemic, it was clear that people were desperate for that interaction. Even if we had masks on, if you're out there picking up some trash, it was kind of nice to talk to other people that weren't in your immediate household. And so we had kids coming out, we had seniors coming out, we had all kinds of people coming out, and Yeah, Almendra, how do we build that? How do we
Yeah,
celebrate it?
no, that's exciting. I think that's definitely the plan. Get Outdoors Nevada is using this momentum, this enthusiasm for our outdoor spaces. Right now we're planning what the season's going to look like. We start up again in August. We're taking these hot months off.
Yeah,
so we'll be out for July, start up again end of August, and there should be tree plantings. We're working with Parks and Rec very closely to kind of plan out which parks are going to get bigger maintenance projects, because our volunteers also really love the extra projects that include planting. The tree plantings were so much fun. And then for us, is just making sure that our volunteers are informed. They know where we're going to be at. They've been really great about trusting us with their weekends. So we're going to do the best that we can to keep that momentum going and plan a lot of fun events for them.
Almendra, how many volunteers would you say the organization has offhand?
Oh, wow. We have a lot of repeat volunteers. I would say at least 2,000.
Whoa,
yeah, for
really?
Ward 1, just the Ward 1 events, we hosted about 300 volunteers, which is great because the trash that we collected, we also have a really fun practice of weighing the trash at each event that we remove. And Ward 1 trash alone was 325 pounds.
Wow.
So that was really fun. About 300 volunteers, it's about a pound of trash a person. And that's a really cool
impressive.
impact on a
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
So, well, Councilman, great choice to have her on the
She's amazing and
Parks
wonderful, and
Commission board.
appreciate everything she does. And I've always said,
Exactly.
being a councilman, I get to push a button to vote for things, but it's a whole team of people that help make the city run.
For sure.
And Almendra is definitely part of a team that she has a lot more experience in parks than I do, so I'm really grateful that she's here.
No, it's really valuable. Your experience is going to be a huge help to the city. It already has been.
Well, thank you. Thank you,
thanks
guys.
so much. Thanks for being on the program. And Councilman and Almendra, again, thanks for being here. But we need to take a short break. And when we return, the Las Vegas Clark County Library District offers fun events and activities to help keep your kids occupied through the whole summer. Find out more right after this.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Welcome back, everyone. The Las Vegas Clark County Library District offers something for just about everyone, is for sure. We're going to tell you more about the things going on, especially this summer, if you have young ones and you want to keep them occupied. Councilman, you and I, we know the city of Las Vegas. We have many programs for young people, but the library district, it's kind of a hidden gem. Not everybody is aware of all the things the library offers as well, right?
That's right, and I learned when I came onto the council that I had the opportunity, and the city council has an opportunity to appoint some of the board of trustees.
Right.
So Kate Whiteley, who serves as the Ward 1 representative on the Las Vegas Clark County Library District, introduced me to the library about 5 or 6 years ago, before I had kids, and I didn't realize how much of a hidden gem it is now at the time, but now that I have kids, it really is amazing. And so I just want to talk about my kids' experience, because if you have young children, if you bring them to the library, there's always something to do. And my kids love walking around and having the ownership and responsibility of picking out their own books. And so the first time we went, they got to pick out their own design of their library cards. They went and picked out 3 books each, very excited about it. And then there's a librarian there that helped connect them to a computer. And so I have pictures on my phone of my son with these headphones on as he's trying to navigate a computer, and my daughter's over there in the corner reading a book. So it's a hidden gem, but if you're a parent, you have to find it, because it really is one of those things that it's a great time killer. You want to go and keep your kids busy and entertained and educated all at the same time.
Exactly, and that's the thing. You know, we've got lots of Parks and Rec programs that are great for kids' physical activity, but the library is going to help them educationally work those muscles in the brain, if you will, and really engage them at an early age, if you'd like, in the fact that reading, learning can be really fun. That's the whole idea.
That's right. And as a parent, you just want to have some place that you just want to randomly drop off your kids with them. You want to go and be there with your kids. It's that place. And so some of the other programs around town, you have to sign up, you have to get registered. It's a set specific time, which is hard sometimes as a parent. there are libraries all over this valley, and if you're trying to figure out what to do with your kids on a random day, you can just stop into a library and let them pick out some books, and it really is a good experience.
It really is, and what's even nicer, it's indoors, and you're not having to fight the heat during this summer.
Air conditioning is an amazing thing right now.
It surely
and
is.
the district has a new executive director, and so I had the opportunity to meet with him and Kate Whiteley, who represents now the city of Las Vegas. And I think there's amazing things to come for the library district. I think we talked about mobile books, we talked about book vending machines, we talked about the online system, and the online system at the library is really quite amazing.
It's outstanding. It really
so
is.
Music, videos, books. If you're an adult, you can enjoy the library as well. And it's amazing who you're going to run into when you go into a library here in town.
Yeah, it's so true. If you live in Las Vegas, city of Las Vegas, if you live in unincorporated Clark County, then your tax dollars go to support the Las Vegas Clark County Library District, hence the name. Henderson, North Las Vegas, they have their own libraries, but Clark County and Las Vegas pool resource, and that's, I think, one of the reasons the libraries are so fantastic. So.
And one thing, if you're a architectural kind of person, if you drive around and look at the libraries around town, it really is some of the best architecture in Nevada, I think. The libraries that have been created are really monumental design implications for Southern Nevada, and create an example of what good architecture can look like, and they blend in with the environment really well. And so if you want to drive around and just look at the library designs, it's a really good backdrop to what Las Vegas is.
Yeah. Councilman, you mentioned all the things they offer, of course, books for sure in a library, but videos, computer access, also theater space. The library district here, many of them have their own theaters, and all kinds of community productions will take place in those spaces. So,
and if you're looking for a job, that's another place to go.
Yeah.
They partner with Workforce Connections, and there's workforce one-stops at 5 different libraries around the valley, so you can go in there and get some resume help, get some support finding a job. It's just a wealth of resources.
That's a really important point, Councilman, that connection to help people find work takes place at libraries throughout the area. And if you're trying to find a job, you need some help writing a resume, you need some help maybe refining some of your interviewing skills. The library is a great resource that can really help you out. And that's a great mention. It's people trying to get back on their feet now after the pandemic, trying to get back to work. It's a great resource if you're looking for a job.
And if you're in Ward 1, the closest library to you is going to be on the CSN campus, the College of Southern Nevada, right there at Torrey Pines in Charleston. It's part of the CSN campus. So you can walk in there and ask a librarian. I've never had a librarian, didn't know how to answer my question. So they're amazing professionals, they're amazing advocates for our community.
All right, well, good stuff. Well, Councilman, great to have you on the program. It was a great discussion. Take advantage of the libraries out there, everyone. And, you know, we'll have you back in a few weeks to talk more about Ward 1. We'll tell everybody in the meantime, hey, you know, we always want to hear from you. So if there's something you'd like to share with Councilman Knudsen, you can find him on Facebook and Twitter. You can also contact him just by picking up the phone, 702-229-6405, or send him an email. His address is bknudsen@lasvegasnevada.gov. And hear one of his great staff get right back to you. So. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Slow down a little bit. You're working too much.
I got to keep going. I got a vacation coming at the end of July.
You've earned it and then some, for sure. We'll have you back again next time around, 6 weeks down the road with another update from Ward 1. Thank you so much for being here. In the meantime, you don't miss our next show beginning on July 1st with Ward 3 City Councilwoman Olivia Diaz. You can catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thank you again for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time around.